Hey fools, welcome. We're here with a look at the market's 100 biggest companies, the FTSE 100. It's been a tough go so far in 2014 for the FTSE. Since January 22nd, the index is actually down 5%. But Nate, 2013 was a great year for the FTSE, so what's going on?
Well, after going up about 15% last year, we've hit a bit of a trouble spot here. Most people are attributing it to fears about emerging market growth slowing, and that's probably a pretty good explanation because emerging market indexes are getting hit even harder than we're seeing the FTSE 100.
So typically when we talk about emerging markets, we actually like to see companies that have exposure there. Is something changing? Is that still what we want in companies?
Well, I think in the long term it is still something you want to see, especially these large companies, because they are so large. It's hard for them to continue to grow, and markets like the UK just aren't going to provide a whole lot of growth for companies like Unilever. So it is the emerging market consumer that we would like to see these companies getting exposure to. Unfortunately, the FTSE 100 is very concentrated in a handful of very large companies. The five largest make up 25% of the market cap of the FTSE 100, and if you look at where those companies are doing their business, commodities, that's oil, gas, iron ore, copper, pulling stuff out of the ground essentially, that makes up a quarter of the FTSE 100's market cap too. So with the fear that China is shifting its economy, that means it'll demand fewer of these natural resources because they're not going to be wasting, quote unquote, so much money on highways and airports that they don't need just to spur growth. And if they do shift, then that means all these countries and companies producing these raw materials are going to get hit. So that's a big fear, and that's part of why the FTSE 100 is getting hit kind of hard.
Okay, so now for the impossible question. There's talk of market crash, maybe it's just a market sell-off. Where do you think the FTSE's headed in 2014 and beyond?
Yes, the impossible question. In 2014, I don't have a clue. Beyond 2014, and I'm talking years, I'm pretty confident in saying that we'll see the market continue to climb. I don't see this as the end of all economic growth and development, and I think the FTSE 100 has companies within it that have access to the growing markets, as well as brands and reputations that will keep them participating even as economic growth shifts from developed markets and into emerging markets.
All right, so Nate, thanks for being here. So that was a look at the FTSE 100, tough start to 2014. We're long-term investors at the Motley Fool. We're keeping an eye on it, and we both say stay invested. Thanks for watching. Full On.